Anna had always taken pride in her strength, but the fruit she had to stretch and strain to reach, her boyfriend could pluck without even trying. They eventually broke up over differences in values, and she came back home to the countryside. The summer rains came in slow and relentless, turning the whole village into a sauna. Humidity pushed close to 100%. The air was so thick and wet it felt almost solid. If you had gills, you could probably swim through it. The worst part was the mold. It showed up on everything. The only way to dry things out was to fire up the stove, which just made the house feel like an oven. Anna decided to bake bread and give herself something to focus on through the miserable stretch. She mixed flour and yeast into a dough. During the fermentation, she lifted the cloth twice to let the gases escape. Then she shaped the loaf and scored the top to keep it from cracking in the heat. Into a 200-degree oven it went. Weeding in summer was the most brutal chore on the farm. Weeds didn't quit. Pull them all out today, and by tomorrow a fresh batch would already be pushing through. A tool could clear the weeds between the rice plants well enough, but the ones crowding right up against the seedlings had to come out by hand. Before long, her back and hips were screaming, and on top of the suffocating heat, clouds of insects swarmed her from every direction. Anna decided to brew some sour rice wine. She started by making a sweet rice porridge. She stirred in some wine yeast and let the whole thing sit out overnight at room temperature. By morning, it had turned into a lightly sweet rice wine. She added another round of yeast to push the fermentation further. Half a day later, it was bubbling away into a pleasantly sour brew. She strained it through cheesecloth into sealed bottles, then straight into the fridge to chill. After a long day of backbreaking work, drenched in sweat, a few cold glasses of that stuff went down like medicine. It reached somewhere deep and settled everything down.